Checking it out here at KINC.biz. We'll be all good. Hey, good afternoon, Bulldog fans, I guess I should say. I got my Blue Comet thing out of there early, as usually call the ball games for the Blue Comets. But we're proudly here to call the ball games for the Bulldogs of Independence today at 102.9 KBIK. I am Larry Pierce here in Emporia today. We're at, Jones Field at Sodden's Grove Stadium. Beautiful stadium here, beautiful day in Emporia. It's the Battle of the Bulldogs in game number 1 of the state tournament here for a chance to play in the championship game or the third place game tomorrow. So coming in here is the number 7 seed, your Indy Bulldogs, and they are just a little under 500 here. They are the away team, and being the lower seed. But I tell you what, don't let that record fool you. The Indy Bulldogs have come in here. They weighed a very good Blue Comet team to get here to back-to-back regional championships to get back to this tournament. So it is a very good job here by the Bulldogs. And I got to talk to Coach Lanning a little bit before the game. He was keeping the guys loose. He says we're playing our best baseball coming into the game right now, Larry. So I feel really good about where we are. He had a good, inspirational, positive outlook to talk to the guys with as they got ready to go here. So we're ready to play some baseball here on 102.9 KBIK. Go Bulldogs. All right, game number 1 here underway. We'll be coming to you about 5 o'clock this evening. Bring you Lady Bulldogs ball game here in Emporia today as well. But let's get things started here for Arc City on the hill. It is Van Deventer. Nittler will be behind the dish. Pierce is at first. Bartman I should say, at second. Gonzalez at short. O'Toole at third. Hensley in left. Watkins center. Spencer is in right field. Ewing, the catcher for the Bulldogs, up first, and he's ready to go. First pitch. In call, strike one. So underway here in Emporia. As Ewing 0-1, the catcher for the Bulldogs, stands in, facing the lefty pitcher. And that's going to hit him on the leg on the inside, right at the knee. Ooh, and Van Deventer definitely not wanting to do that, as Ewing is going to limp down the line. And coach is going to check on him as he heads over to the first base side. They're going to let him walk that out. So hit by the pitch puts the first hitter on here for the Bulldogs. And Van Deventer coming in here, he is 7-0 on the year. And he's got like a 1.5 ERA coming in here for Arc City, who stands at an 18-4 record on the season here today. So looks like everything's going to be okay. Ewing is going to stay in and run over at first. And coming in here now will be the DH Prawley. He is batting for Bruce, the right fielder. So lefty on lefty here as Prawley stands up here. And tell you what, Prawley can get a hold of one. Arc City Bulldogs better be ready for the speed of Prawley, as Ewing takes his lead over there at first. And a little bit of lead there. Prawley takes low. That is ball one. So 1-0 there to Prawley as he's going to step right back in here. Kick with Coach Landing down the third baseline. Back in he goes, and Van Deventer sends it in. He fouls it off. It's a 1-1 ball game, 1-1 count. All right, now KBIK does not have a video stream or any kind of streams, folks, but we do have the stream available. It's audio stream available only. I've got that set up at kinz.biz if you want to check it out online. Probably back in with a 1-1 count. Van Deventer outside catches that corner, and it's a call, strike two, 1-2. So that 1-2 count, probably right back in, trying to move Ewing off of first. Has a sign he likes from his catcher, Nittler. Here's the pitch, and just getting a piece of it, probably staying alive. Fouls it away, 1-2 remains the count. Up next will be Bloomfield, the pitcher for the Bulldogs. As probably right back in with a 1-2 count, working from the stretch, Van Deventer. Has a look, and he catches him over at first. Ewing with a short lead. Here's the pitch to the plate. That's up high, runs a 2-2. So it will be a 2-2 count here to the DH. On deck, as I said, the pitcher, Copeland. Van Deventer. One more look over there at first, being held on by Pierce. Here's the 2-2 to Prawley at the plate. Curveball in there for called. Ooh. And we got a little confusion at the plate here. It was a called strike three, or called ball three. So it was a called ball three, and Prawley thought it was ball four. So he headed down the line, and it's only ball three to run the count full. But Ewing was off the bag, so they will get him on the 1-3 for the first out. So a little confusion out there by Prawley as he steps back in now with nobody on it, 1 out. Probably back in now with the full count in. I guess, yeah. I thought it was a strike too, but it was called a ball. Here's the full count pitch. That's a shot high out into right field. Going back on it there is Spencer. He's looking for it. He'll find it. And a long fly ball out to right field for out number 2. So here comes the pitcher Bloomfield with 2 outs and nobody on. Check with Coach Landing down to the third baseline, or the third baseline. As I said, folks, you can find that live stream to the ball game. It's an audio live stream at kinz.biz if you want to check it out. Bloomfield steps in. Van Deventer back to the windup. Here's to his opponent. Outside corner. Calls strike one. The one thing that the Bulldogs need to do here is take some pitches in these first few innings, make Van Deventer work a little bit, keep that score low. 0-1 to Bloomfield. That's a shot. There's a high chopper down to third. O'Toole, long time to get there, and it pulls him off the line, but a nice tag there by Pierce on the 5-3 for the third out. So no hits and no left and no errors by Arc City We will go to the bottom of the first. Watkins, O'Toole, and Gonzalez from Emporia State Baseball. It's Bulldogs nothing, Arc City nothing on 102.9 KBIK. And we're back here, so we get ready to go to the bottom of the first inning. No score, and it will be the Bulldogs in the field here for you. And going around the horn for them, it will be Bloomfield on the hill, Copeland behind the disc, Chisholm is at first, Edwards at second, Ewing is at short, Collar is at third, Schicky is in a left, Copeland in center, and Bruce is your right fielder for the Bulldogs of Independence here. First three up will be Watkins, O'Toole, and Gonzalez as they will step up here, ready to go. And their first at bat here at the state tournament this year. So the Bulldogs looking to play good defense and keep this score low and keep the pitch count down for Bloomfield here today. As he stands in on the windup, ready to go to the center fielder Watkins. And the first pitch on the way, bottom of the first. Just a little bit high, ball one. So 1-0 with O'Toole on deck and Gonzalez in the hole. As Watkins steps back in with a 1-0 count. Outside is 2-0. So Bloomfield working from the windup. Now the 2-0 pitch to Watkins. Low on the inside, and it makes it 3-0. So 3-0 to Watkins. As he checks in with Coach Butcher down the third baseline, steps back in. Bloomfield. That's just a little bit high, missing ball four. Leadoff man on for Arc City on the base on balls. So here comes O'Toole, the third baseman. Runner on. And Bloomfield now moves to the stretch. So see if we can entice a double play ball here for the Bulldogs. O'Toole steps in, ready to go. Copeland with the sign, sends it out here. Bloomfield ready. Checks him over at first. And the pitch. Looking to square around for a bunt, and it's called strike one to him. Trying to play a little small ball, maybe trying to manufacture a run here for Arc City Bulldogs. Find a run here early. O'Toole 0-1 as he steps back in. Quick throw over to first, and that one is off the heel of the runner, and it trips up a Chisholm, and it gets into right field. Now on its way to third as the throw comes in. As the throw tries to get the runner Watkins, and it's going to be an error as he reaches over to third as it hit the runner's foot, bounced into right field, and the Chisholm, the first baseman, got upended, couldn't stop the ball, and it just rolled in. So over to third on the error by the Bulldogs. And it is a 0-1 count at the plate here to O'Toole with a runner now at third on the error. Bloomfield, curveball up high, ball one, 1-1 now the count. So Bloomfield now with a run over third, trying to keep him over there to see if we can get this first out. O'Toole stands back in with a 1-1 pitch. High fly ball over to the right side. Getting out there is going to be Bruce. And Bruce loses it. It lands down the line. Here comes a run into second. It's going to be a high bouncer, and it's an RBI double for O'Toole. So it's an RBI double. It is now a 1-0 ball game and no outs. As Gonzalez, the shortstop, comes to the plate. So Arc City pushes a run across here. So there's a shot, and it'll get out into a left center field, and looking to get down to center fielder. Nice job there by Copeland. Runs it down, and it's going to be a long fly ball out. Gonzalez moves the runner over to third, but it's out number one on the long fly ball to center field. Out number one. So here comes Brantman, the second baseman, to the plate, and he's got a runner over at third now. Trying to make it a 2-0 early score here with only one out. But Bloomfield, see if we can get the defense work here and keep the damage to a minimum as Brantman stands in. First pitch in there, call, strike one to him. So the one hit and the one error has brought in the run. Brantman, 0-1 pitch, and that's a slow runner there to third. Third baseman coming up on it, and they'll get him at home. And he slides in there. You got to make the tag. I don't know why the tag wasn't applied. We just standing on the plate. It's not a force play at home. So Brantman's on with a swing on the fielder's choice as they come home, and the runner is safe because of no tag. So now it's a 2-0 ball game. With only one out, here comes the catcher Nittler to the plate. And he'll stand in here with a runner over at first. So a couple outside calls, strike one. So a couple of mental mistakes here, mental errors by the Independence Bulldogs have cost them a couple runs here early in the bottom of the first. 0-1 to Nittler on the call. Leading at first is Brantman over there. Bloomfield checks him now to the plate. So that's going to be a blooper. And it'll get down in right field, and it'll have some English on it. It'll get past Bruce and head all the way to the fence. Coming around to score from first is going to be Brantman. Nittler on his way into third, and he'll be there standing up and bringing in another run. It's a 3-0 ball game with Nittler on third on the triple. Second hit brings in the third run. As that one got down in front of Bruce and it landed, and when it landed, it just kind of took a weird hop on him. And it got past him and hit all the way to the fence. So now the runner at third with one out. It's now 3-0 here for the Arc City Bulldogs. Standing in now is David, the DH. That's in there for a call strike on the curveball. 0-1 from Bloomfield. Spencer will be on deck as they're looking to play a little add-on here in the first. That's a little blower there to second. Coming up on it is Edwards. He'll go to cross, and they'll go 4-3, concede the run for out number two. So the run comes in, makes it a 4-0 ball game as right fielder Spencer comes to the plate. So the run comes in on the 4-3 play for out number two. Spencer, the seventh hitter to the plate, comes up here against Bloomfield. And the pitch, low outside, ball one. Now 4-0 ball game here as David stands in. That's called strike one to Spencer. Sorry, the right fielder who's in at the box now. 1-1 to him. Base is empty here with two outs. Bloomfield back to the windup. Here's the 1-1 to him. Low outside, making it a 2-1 count. So that 2-1 count to him. Bloomfield ready to go against Spencer, who's trying to keep the inning going here for the Arc City Bulldogs. They lead it 4-0 already. That's a shot back to the screen. It's a 2-2 count. So 4-0 already here in the bottom of the first for Arc City on a error and a crazy bounce ball past the right fielder. And a pitch on the way. That's up in high. Makes it a full count, 3-2. So a 3-2 count now to Spencer. He's standing in on the payoff pitch here from Bloomfield. That's a shot there at third. Nice job there by Collar. He'll come up and he'll make a good strong throw, 5-3, and get him by a step to get the Bulldogs out of it. But the damage is done. They get 2 hits. They leave none. 1 error brings in 4 runs as we go to the second. Copeland, Ewing, and Collar on the way to the plate when we come back. 102.9 KBIK. All righty, we're back here ready to go to the second inning, and the Indy Bulldogs need to get the work going here on the bats as they went 3 up, 3 down there in the first. So we'll go Copeland, Ewing, and Collar, the first 3 up here against Van Deventer. He comes in with 16 pitches, no strikeouts, no base on balls, no hits. And no runs. So here we go. We're ready to go here for the second inning. Willie Copeland, the center fielder, steps in, ready to go against Van Deventer, his first pitch of the second. Swing and a miss, 0-1. So a swing there, and now swing and a miss. It's now 0-2 here to Copeland. Trying to get some contact here is Copeland. And Van Deventer ready to go, the 0-2 pitch to the leadoff hitter for the Bulldogs. Pitch on the way. Outside, could get him to chase it that one, 1-2. Coming up this afternoon at approximately 5 o'clock, Lady Bulldog softball here from the state tournament. We'll have that game for you here on 102.9 KBIK. 1-2 to Copeland. Swing and a miss, and a little drop there. Swing and a miss for the strikeout. As they complete the strikeout, it's out number 1. First strikeout of the ball game for Van Deventer. Here comes Ewing, the shortstop, to the plate. Coach Lanning down the third base line. Hey, just get some contact. Let's get something started here. So as we go here to Ewing stepping in, Van Deventer ready to go. Low outside, ball 1. So Ewing will stand up in here. 1 out, nobody on. Van Deventer sends that one over to the right side. It's going to get out of play for a 1-1 count on the long strike. Coach Lanning once again to his hitter. Just get in there and get something started. Find a spot for 1. 1-1 to Ewing. That's a little runner down the first base line. It'll go foul. 1-2. So Van Deventer coming in here with a 7-0 record and a 1.3 or 1.5 ERA on the year. Facing an Indy Bulldog team that likes to play a lot of small ball. So if we can get that put together here. Here's the 1-2 now to Ewing as he stands in. Outside, 2-2. So that 2-2 count now is Van Deventer. Ready to bring us to working from the windup. Oh, that's low on the inside, and that's going to miss Ewing there. Run the count full, 3-2. That's pitch number 20 here for Van Deventer. 1 1/3. But a good job here by the Bulldogs because we want to get that pinch count up here. So make him work here at the plate. Full count on the way. That's a little runner back there, Van Deventer. He came off to the third base side, and he'll go 1-3. Get him on a step. Number 2. So here comes the third baseman, Caller to the plate. Edwards, the second baseman, will be on deck. So 2 outs and nobody on. Caller comes up. Vandeventer now ready to step to the hill here, looking at his battery mate, Nittler. He settles in behind the dish. Ready to go here to Caller. First pitch on the way. Shot out into left field. Left fielder Hensley getting underneath it, and he'll make the play. And it's a 1-2-3 inning. And no score. It'll be a 4-0 ball game. Ark City coming to the plates in the bottom of the second. Pierce, Hensley, and Watkins when we come back. 4-0 Ark City over to the Bulldogs of Independence on 102.9 KBIK. And back here as we get ready to go for the bottom half of the second inning. Bloomfield back out for the Indy Bulldogs, and he has given up 3 hits and 4 runs. All 4 runs charged to him. Well, 3 runs are charged to him as the error helped bring in a run there for the Ark City Bulldogs in that first inning. So here comes the first baseman, Pierce, Hensley, and Watkins, the first 3 up here. Bloomfield, 20 pitches. No strikeouts and 1 base on balls. Ready to go here to the second inning. And now all the butterflies are out of that first. Let's settle in here in the second and keep those bats at bay. Nice curveball for strike 1 to Pierce. 0-1. So Bloomfield with an 0-1 pitch to Pierce. Swing and a miss. It's 0-2. Swinging on that outside breaking ball there. So let's get that quick first out here. And 0-2 now the count to Pierce. That's a shot there to the second baseman. And second baseman, it goes off of Edwards' foot. And he comes up throwing and puts Pierce on the error by the second baseman. Second error of the ball game here by the Bulldogs. As it's right there to Edwards. And he was down on it, fundamentally down on it. And it just kind of kicked away from him. Not used to this turf field maybe. I know Coach Lanning was working on that, talked about that before the game. So here's Hensley, the left fielder, stepping in with a runner on now. Bloomfield moves to the stretch, and Hensley going to be swinging and a miss to Hensley, 0-1 to him. So 1 to Hensley as he'll step back in, checking with Coach Butcher down the third base line. Leading it first is Pierce, reaching on that error. And now Bloomfield taking his time to the plates. Break the ball a little bit high, 1-1 to count. So that 1-1 count to him, Hensley. We'll step back to the box here. Bloomfield, check your Pierce over to first, to the plate. There's a runner. And it'll get out into right field on the run and go. A little hit and run there. And Hensley's on as it gets between the first and second baseman out into right field. So runners down first and second here for Ark City. Top of the order will be Watkins. Reached on a base on balls. As he'll step up here with runners at first and second and no outs. So Bloomfield will be ready to go here against Watkins. Runners will take their leads at first and second. Bloomfield comes set. And to the plates, trying to bunt his way on. That's going to be a foul ball to Watkins, 0-1. O'Toole will be on deck here. So Indy Bulldogs look to get that first out. So runners now at first and second. They take the lead. Pierce at second. Hensley at first. Watkins at the plate with an 0-1 count. Bloomfield ready to go as he checks the runner second. And to the plate. Squaring around to lay down the bunt. Looking to sacrifice bunt. Going to work here. Bloomfield. Get him there at first. Sacrifice bunt. Moves him over to third. So with one out, the runners now in scoring position at second and third. Here comes O'Toole to the plate. He had the RBI double back in the first, and he'll have runners in scoring position at second and third here as he steps up with one out against Bloomfield in this 4-0 game here in the bottom of the second. Arc City with the lead. And the Indy Bulldogs trying to hold them down here and keep the no damage here in the second. Runners in scoring position. O'Toole back in. Just misses on the break ball. High ball one. So the 0-1 count. 1-0 to O'Toole. That's up high, so a 2-0 count. So 2-0 to him. As Gonzalez will be on deck. Here's O'Toole with the 2-0 count. Stands in. And just low for a 3-0 count. Definitely doesn't want to load him up here. Because even a fly ball, sacrifice fly could be a possibility to bring in a run. Gonzalez standing on deck. 3-0 to O'Toole. That's in there for a strike. Take it all the way. 3-1. So that 3-1 count to O'Toole. He'll step back to the box here, ready to go. Runners in scoring position at second and third. They already lead 4-0, does Arc City. And with one out here in the second, there's a little nice job by Bloomfield and snags it right back up the middle. He had to snag it on the hand side there to the third base, and he gets a good snag, and he keeps the runners at bay. He'll go 1-3 for out number 2. That was a great play there by Bloomfield. That was a big, big play by the Indy Bulldogs right there, pitcher. Good job. 2 outs. Gonzalez steps up. He's 0 for 1, flight out to center his first time up. And he'll stand in here with 2 outs now, and Bloomfield to the plates. Swing and a miss, 0-1 to him. So back in now goes Gonzalez, 0-1 count. Bloomfield brings it outside, can't get him to chase. It's a 1-1 count. So with 1-1, Gonzalez right back in, trying to find a hit to bring the runners around. They got runners at second and third with 2 outs. Bloomfield with 2 outs himself, trying to keep him that way. And that's a nice pitch as he bottom just dropped out of that one, and he gets him swinging. It's 1-2. So Bloomfield stands back in with a 1-2 count, looking to end this inning here with Gonzalez standing in. And it's a high fly ball over to first. Chisholm underneath him. He'll make the play, and the Bulldogs get out of the inning without any damage. Good job by the Bulldog defense, and a great play by Bloomfield to keep them with no runs coming in. So they get to no hits. Or they get 1 hit, I'm sorry. They leave 2 and 1 error, but no runs come in. We will go to the third inning. Edwards, Chisholm, and Schicky to the plate for the Bulldogs when we come back. 102.9 KBIK. And back here as we get ready to go to the third inning, Indy Bulldogs should have some momentum after a good job there by their pitcher. Made a great play on a snag right back up the middle to keep a couple of runners from coming in to keep it a 4-0 ball game. But facing the minimum is Van Deventer, and he will come up here pitching at 22 pitches, 2 innings of work. He's got 1 strikeout, no base on balls. He's given up no hits. He'll face Edwards, second baseman, to start off, and Edwards will send it back behind the screen, and it is a strike 1 on the foul ball. Edwards, Chisholm, and Schicky, the first 3 up here for the Indy Bulldogs. As it's 0-1 to Edwards, standing in, trying to get something started against Van Deventer. And that curveball coming in nice. That's called strike 2, 0-2. That's a heck of a breaking ball right there. 0-2 to Edwards. He comes right back in. Van Deventer, the lefty, outside. Can't get in the chase, 1-2. So Indy looking to put together some hits here in the third. 1-2 count to Edwards. A little runner there. Soft roller out to Gonzalez, and he'll make a play, just getting by the step, 6-3 for out number 1. Gonzalez with the play there. So here comes the first baseman, Chisholm, for the Indy Bulldogs. See if he can get something started. 1 out, nobody on here in the third. Coming up later today here on KBIK at 5 o'clock, Lady Bulldogs softball from here in Emporia. We'll have that game for you. Chisholm stands in now with 1 out and nobody on. Up on the inside, ball 1 to him. So 1 base runner so far, and that was Ewing, the catcher, who was hit by the very first pitch. And since then, Bulldogs have been kept off the base paths. That is fouled away. It's a 1-1 count. So Van Deventer stands back in here with a 1-1 count. Working from the windup, Chisholm standing in, ready to go. Here's the pitch to him. That's low on the inside. It's a 2-1 count. Schicky on deck for the Indy Bulldogs. So 2-1 to Chisholm. Van Deventer outside and high, runs the count to a 3-1 count. So that 3-1 count here to Chisholm as Van Deventer will bring it to the plate. That's a little runner there back to Van Deventer towards the third base side, and he'll go 1-3 for out number 2. A couple of great plays by both pitchers here as Schicky comes to the plate now. 2 outs and nobody on. So over to 31 pitches now through 2 2/3 for Van Deventer. He's ready to go here against the number 9 hitter. Outside, ball 1. So that 0-1 count, 1-0 count to him. Schicky comes right back in there. And here's the 1-0 pitch. That's in there for a call strike, 1-1. Top of the order will be Ewing, the catcher. He'll be on deck if Schicky can get on. He's got a 1-1 count from Van Deventer on the way. Low on the inside, makes it a 2-1 count. So 2-1 to Schicky. Not wasting any time, climbs right back to the box. Here's Van Deventer with the pitch. Oh, just called. I'll tell you what, he called a ball on a curveball a little bit earlier. Looked better than a strike on that one right there. I can guarantee you that right now. All right, so it's 2-2 to Schicky. Curveball gets him swinging for the final out here of the third. So it's a 1-2-3 inning. No hits, nobody run, no lefts. And 2 errors by the Bulldogs in this game. And no errors by the Bulldogs of Arc City. We'll go to the bottom of the third. It will be Brentman, Nittler, and David to the plate when we come back. It's 4-0 Arc City, 102.9 KBIK. And as we're back here ready to go to the bottom of the third inning, it's a 4-0 ball game. Arc City Bulldogs with the lead. Bloomfield back on the hill for the Indy Bulldogs. Bloomfield through 2 innings of work. He's thrown 37 pitches. No strikeouts, 1 base on balls here so far for him in this ball game. He's given up 4 hits and 4 runs, 3 of those charged to him. 4-0 ball game as we go to the bottom of the third. Brantman comes up. He had a single his first time up, scored a run. So he'll stand up here against Bloomfield in the third. Working from the windup. And Bloomfield ready to go. Here's the first pitch. Shot out into right field. Bruce stands there, and he'll make the play. Fading towards the line. 1 pitch, 1 out. So here comes the catcher, Nittler. Ended up with a RBI triple back in this first inning. To be one of their 4 hits. They've got 4 hits. They've left 2 on the base pads and no errors and no runs, no hits, and 2 errors by the Indy Bulldogs. Here's the pitch to the catcher, Nittler, catching that outside corner, strike 1. He's been pretty consistent with that call on that outside edge there on both sides. So Nittler will go 0-1 as he stands in. Bloomfield starting to look a little stronger there. There's a hot shot, and it'll go out into left field. Slow roller as it gets out there. And Nittler's on with his second hit. So with a 1-out single, here comes a DH, David. He got a 0 for 1 as he grounded out. It will be Raines. Raines will be the runner for Arc City. The courtesy runner for the catcher, Nittler, over there at first. So here's David. He's 0 for 1, grounded out to second. And now moving to the stretch is Bloomfield. First pitch to the DH. Low for ball 1. 1-0 count to him. And a runner over at first as David trying to move him around. Taking the lead there is the courtesy runner, Raines. As Bloomfield comes set, ready to go to David. Here's the 1-0 pitch to him. The runner goes. That's fouled off. It's a 1-1 count. Coming in a little bit here for Bloomfield as Spencer will be on deck. 1-1 to David. As he steps back in here, he's the DH for the Arc City Bulldogs. 1 out, man over at first. He takes his lead. David stands in with a 1-1 count. That's a shot over to the right side. It's going to get out of play. A long strike makes it 1-2. So with the 1-2 count, David takes some Coach Butcher back down the third baseline. Raines, the courtesy runner, leads from first. It is 1-2 to David as he stands back in. So David now ready to go. Bloomfield with a long look in. Has a sign of lights from Copeland. Here's the pitch to him. Runner goes. It's another foul ball down the first base. A nice job there by the Arc City coach, one-handing it out of the coach's box. 1-2. So Spencer will be on deck here. Here's David trying to stay alive, trying to straighten one out here. A couple of foul balls got him down to 1-2. Bloomfield, let's get this second out of the inning. Leave that runner over at first. Here's David in. Bloomfield comes set. Bloomfield now ready to the plate. That's a shot, and it'll get out into left field, and it'll be a line drive shot. Get right down in front of Schicky. So back-to-back hits here by Arc City. Puts runners at first and second. Got to come in on that ball. So here comes Spencer to the plate. He's 0 for 1, grounded out to third to end of the first inning, back into first. So now with runners at first and second and only 1 out, Spencer steps up here. Pierce will be on deck for Spencer standing in. Indy Bulldogs desperately need a twin kill right here. So Indy, Bloomfield to the plate. Little bouncer there to third. It's going to be Collar. He'll come up. He'll go 5-3 for out number 2, but it does advance the runners. So second and third now. So here comes Pierce to the plate. He reached first on an error and ended up over at third on that second error. He ended up stranded there in that second inning, so he'll come up here with runners in scoring position as second and third, and 2 outs. So Pierce stands in here. First pitch to him, strike called on the breaking ball, 0-1. He had an error to lead off that inning a while ago, second inning, so he's back in here with an 0-1 count now, trying to find a way to bring some runs across. They lead at 4-0 here in the bottom of the third. Bloomfield with 2 outs for the Indy Bulldogs, trying to keep them at that way, and it looks like we can do that here as we'll get a 4-3 as Edwards on a slow roller goes to Chisholm, 4-3 for the third outs. So good job here by the Bulldog defense. They do get 2 hits. They leave 2, no errors, and no runs come in. It's a 4-0 ball game as we go to the fourth. Top of the order, Ewing, Prawley, and Bloomfield to the plate when we come back. You're listening to Indy Bulldog Baseball, 102.9 KBIK. And back here, we're ready to go to the fourth inning as the Indy Bulldogs trade a 4-0, and they've been no hits so far. Actually, facing the minimum here by Van Deventer, and he's got 36 pitches with 1 strikeout, no base on balls, no hits. He'll face the top of the order, Ewing. He hit Ewing, and a little bit of confusion there, and at the plates, it cost Ewing to be picked off over at first base back in the first inning. So Van Deventer to him. First pitch to him is that curveball, strike 1, 0-1. So the 0-1 count to Ewing, the Bulldog catcher standing in. See if he can get back on the base paths here for the Bulldogs in the fourth. That's a shot. They'll get right back up the middle. There you go. And Ewing gets the first hit for the Indy Bulldogs, and that's a much-needed hit here for the Bulldogs. So the first hit for Indy, it will be the DH Prawley to the plate. He had a fly ball to right field. So he's 0 for 1. So the Bulldogs have a runner on here in the fourth. Let's see if we can do something with that. Van Deventer. Now go to the stretch here, and probably will stand in. Lefty on lefty here, and that's a shot. It'll get out into left center field, left, right. Oh, nice job. Right center field, sorry. And a nice job there by the right fielder, Spencer, to run that one down. So that's out number 1. Gave it a ride, did probably, but Spencer playing a little bit towards the center there, right center, was able to track it down. Here comes the pitcher, Bloomfield. He's 0 for 1. See if he can help his own cause with his catcher standing over at first. 1 out. Van Deventer stands in. Here we go. That's the curveball, strike 1. Bloomfield and those Indy Bulldog hitters should be expecting that. First pitch. He's been pretty good with Van Deventer all game long. Here's Bloomfield with an 0-1 count. Outside, 1-1. 1-1 to count here to the pitcher Bloomfield for the Bulldogs. So Bloomfield 1-1 stands in. Van Deventer delivers. That one's just a little bit high for a ball. 2-1. Nice breaking ball, but still a little high. 2-1 count. Bloomfield standing right in, trying to move Ewing off of first. Not much of a lead there. Pierce holding him on over at first. We're in the top of the fourth inning. 4-0. Indy Bulldogs trail our City Bulldogs. And trying to make some noise here. It's now 3-1 here in the fourth to Bloomfield. He'll stand right back in, ready to go here. Van Deventer comes set. The 3-1 pitch to Bloomfield. It's in there for a call strike. Runs the count full. Checking in Coach Lanning down the line. Sends his pitcher back in. Looking to find one to put somewhere just to get something going. Full count. Bloomfield, here's the pitch. Swing and a miss for the strikeout. And that is the third strikeout of the ball game here for Van Deventer. And that's out number 2. And here comes the center fielder, Copeland. He's 0 for 1, struck out his first time up. He'll have a runner over at first with 2 outs. Yes, he'll stand in here ready to go. Van Deventer delivers. That's a high chopper back to the pitcher. Off the mound over to the third base side. Turns around 5-3 for the third out. So the Bulldogs do get a hit there, but they leave one man on and no errors. And no runs come in. We will go to the bottom of the 4th inning. It will be Hensley, Watkins, and O'Toole come to the plate against Bloomfield. It's a 4-0 ball game. Ark City with the lead here at the state tournament on 102.9 KBIK. And we are back here as we are ready to go to the bottom of the 4th inning. Ark City Bulldogs coming to the plate here. They lead at 4-0 over the Indy Bulldogs here in the first game of the state tournament in Emporia. All right, it will be come to the plate Hensley, Watkins, and O'Toole. The first 3 up here against Bloomfield. Bloomfield back in. And through 3 innings of work, he has thrown 48 pitches. He's got no strikeouts, 1 base on balls. He's given up 6 hits, 4 runs, 3 runs charged to him through his first 3 innings of work. So here he goes against Hensley, who's 1 for 1, had a single. Back in a second, got stranded there. And it will be in the top of the order behind him, Watkins and O'Toole, the first 3 up here against Bloomfield. So here we go as Hensley stands in. Bloomfield from the windup, first pitch to him into the bottom of the 4th. Steve Wright called. Like to see the Bulldogs get a 1-2-3 inning here, see if they can start to work on those bats a little bit in that 5th inning here. Just got to keep working on Van Deventer and keep this score 4-0 here. And keep those bats working, see if we get some runs pushed across. That's outside and just missing. It's a 1-1 count. So Hensley, the left fielder, stands in there, leading off here in the 4th. 1-1 to Henley. And Bloomfield delivers. Just a little bit missing on that one, 2-1. So top of the order will be Watkins. 2-1 to Hensley, the leadoff hitter here. And Bloomfield looking to sit him down. Here's the 2-1. That's a shot there, and it'll get just past the second, but diving second baseman Edwards gets under his glove and gets out into center field. So leadoff man on here's his second single for Hensley. And here comes Watkins to the plate, the leadoff man. He has been to the plate twice. He's got a base on balls and has sacrificed bunt his 2 times up and has scored a run. So no official at-bats as he stacks up here for the 3rd time with a man on and no outs here in the bottom of the 4th inning. So Watkins stands in here. And now Bloomfield moves to the stretch. Looking to entice a double play ball here. Here's the pitch, turning around his bunt a little bit high. Ball 1's a call. So they've got runners in score position, 2nd and 3rd the last 2 innings, but the Bulldogs offense or defense has done a good job, as Bloomfield has, as keeping them to a 4-0 lead. They scored all 4 runs into that 1st inning. So the man on and no outs here Watkins steps in with a 1-0 count here for Ark City. Here's the pitch up inside, 2-0. So we'll go 2-0 to him with O'Toole on deck. And Bloomfield ready to go. Here's he has the sign from Copeland. Here's the pitch to him. That's low, and it's going to get away from Copeland. Bouncing away. Copeland can't find it. Over to second on the wild pitch to Watkins. It's a 3-0 count here to Watkins. He stands in now. Runner in scoring position at second base on the wild pitch. So a 3-0 to Watkins as he stands right back in here. Now ready to go. Bloomfield checks on the runner over at second. Comes set and to the plates. That's in there for a call strike. Take it all the way is Watkins. It's a 3-1 count. So we'll stay 3-1 to him. As Watkins will be right back in, ready to go. Bloomfield has the sign he likes from Copeland. Gives a quick look at second. Now we got a timeout at the plates. So 3-1 here to Watkins. 4-0 ball game in the bottom of the fourth inning. Ark City with the lead over the Indy Bulldogs here in the first game of the state tournament. Here's the pitch. That's in there. Oh, just misses. Boy, I tell you what, that's a good-looking pitch, but it's ball 4. So now runners at first and second here. The second base on ball is given up here by Bloomfield. That's an awful close-looking pitch there, but it's a ball call. So now runners at first and second. Here comes the third baseman, O'Toole. He's 1 for 2 at the plate. He had an RBI double. And a great play by Bloomfield in that second inning to get a snag as it kind of went back up the middle just to the left of the hill there. And Bloomfield had to go non-glove side, snag it, and make a good play back over to first to get him. And keeping runners from advancing and even scoring back into second. So here we go to O'Toole. First pitch on the way to it. Squaring around, looking to bunt. That's in there for a call strike, 0-1. So an 0-1 count. Looking for that first out of this inning here are the Bulldogs. They've let them get into a little bit of a scoring position here in the last 2 innings and kept them at base. See if they could keep that up here. Here's the 0-1 to O'Toole. Outside, 1-1. 1 for 2 count, had the RBI double as O'Toole back in. He's got a 1-1 count. Checking with Coach Butcher down the third baseline. Bloomfield, the sign from Copeland, working from the stretch. Runners at first and second. He comes to the plate to O'Toole. That's a runner there to second, and that is off of, trying to backhand it there, did Edwards, and it bounces off his glove and goes into center field. So 1 run comes in. And then trying to backhand the ball there. And does Edwards, and it gets kicked out into center field. He had a good play on it, but he turned his glove backwards, and it bounces off the heel of his glove, goes out into center field. So that puts Watkins over at third. Watkins over at first, and over to third. And O'Toole will be over at first. O'Toole over at first on the hits. So that'll be the, I'm going to say it's an error on the second baseman. So the third error of the ball game here by the Indy Bulldogs brings Coach Lanning out to have a chat with his pitcher here. So that is the 60th pitch. So runners on the corners. It is now a 5-0 ball game as the run does come in on the error. So the third error of the game, the second error brings in the second run here to makes it a 5-0 ball game, Ark City. And we're going to get a pinch runner coming in here. Nope. That is O'Toole. He'll come back over. He went to the dugout for a quick during that timeout. Back to first he goes. So runners at first and third, still no outs. Gonzalez comes to the plate. He's 0 for 2. And they'll stand up in here with the runners on the corner. Still no outs, and now 5-0 Ark City. And an opportunity for them to play a little more add-on here. Bloomfield In there for call, strike one to Gonzalez, 0-1 to him. So an 0-1 count to Gonzalez. He'll step right back in. Runners on the corners. And Bloomfield trying to limit the damage here. Need an out. With an 0-1 count. Gonzalez stands in. Here's the pitch, and that's going to be fouled off. It'll go 0-2. So as we are in the bottom of the fourth inning, it is now a 5-0 ball game. 0-2 after the foul ball here to Gonzalez as he stands back in. And Bloomfield to the plate. Swing and a miss for the strikeout, and that was a big strikeout for Bloomfield and needed that strikeout. First Bloomfield strikeout for Bloomfield on the afternoon. Wow. So here comes Brantman to the plate. He's 1 for 2 at the plate today. So he'll step up here with runners on the corners and 1 out. And that strikeout by Bloomfield, big right there for the Bulldogs. So Brantman right back in here. He'll stand in, ready to go, trying to move the runners. Outside, ball 1. Coming up at about 5 o'clock this afternoon here in Emporia, we'll be bringing you Lady Cubs, or Lady Bulldog softball from Emporia here today, here on 102.9 KBIK. 1-0 to Brantman. Pitch on the way. That's a high fly ball over to the right side. Bruce giving underneath it there, and he'll make the play. And coming in, it will be a sacrifice fly. And a run does come in on the sac fly for out number 2. So 2 outs, and another run comes in, makes it 6-0 here in the fourth. Arc City. So now it's a 6-0 ball game. And runner over at second will be O'Toole. But they're on the tag up. Here comes Nittler, the catcher. He's 2 for 2 at the plate today. He's got a triple and a single. So Nittler now will call a timeout. Here's Bloomfield. Needs a little time. It's only the 1 hit, the 1 error. Sacrifice fly has brought in a couple of runs here. That's low to Nittler for ball number 1. So 1-0 count to him. Nittler stands right back in. Got a runner over at second, and that is O'Toole. Reached on an error. So 1-0 to Nittler from a Bluefield. That's in there for a strike. It's a 1-1 count. Nice breaking ball. Cutting it back inside. So David will be on deck here if Nittler can get on. It's a 1-1 count. And Bloomfield comes set. To the plate he goes. Outside, it'll go 2-1. So that 2-1 count there to Nittler. Still stand right back in here. Bloomfield has a signing lights from Copeland. He'll come set. Check the runner over at second. And now the pitch. That's a shot. Get out into center field. Center fielder there. Copeland should be right there playing a straightaway for the 3rd out. But the damage is done here as they get to 1 hit. They leave 1. 1 error brings in 2 runs. We will go to the 5th inning. Ewing, Collar, and Edwards coming into the plate here against Vanderwitter when we come back at 6-0 Arc City going to the 5th, Z95, 102.9 KBIK. And we're back here as we get ready to go to the fifth inning. Indy Bulldogs trade a 6-0 here in game one to Arc City. Trying to get through this one to play a couple games tomorrow. And you win this one today, then you play in the third or championship game tomorrow. Same thing for the Lady Bulldogs of Independence. They will be a 5 o'clock approximate time here on KBIK this afternoon from Emporia. But work needs to be done here by the Indy Bulldogs. It'll be Ewing, Collar, and Edwards, the first three here. The Bulldogs have only managed one hit in this ball game against Van Deventer. He has gone 4 innings of work. He's thrown 46 pitches. He's got 3 strikeouts, no base on balls. He's only given up the 1 hit. First pitch here to Ewing is ball 1 in the 5th. So 1-0, Collar will be on deck, Edwards to follow. So Bulldogs looking to get a hold of one here, see if they can get something started in the 5th. 1-1 on the call strike here to Ewing as the Bulldogs are running out of outs. 1-1 to Ewing, standing right in, not leaving the box, looking to hit something somewhere. Van Deventer fouls it off, does Ewing. It's now 1-2. Van Deventer. New ball from the umpire. Checking in with Coach Lanning down to third baseline is Ewing. Back in he goes. It's a beautiful day here in Emporia. Temperature not too bad. Got a little bit of a light wind. Cloud cover out here. It's just nice. 1-2 to Ewing. As he stands in, here's the pitch to him. That's up on the inside. Runs a 2-2. So that is pitch number 50 here for Van Deventer. Ready to go here to Ewing, and that's a swing and a miss for the strikeout. That's out number 1. Good morning, good afternoon, good night. That's a 4th strikeout of the ball game for Van Deventer. Here comes Collar to the plate, the third baseman. He's 0 for 1. Had a fly out to right field his first time up. So with 1 out, nobody on, Collar comes to the plate. He stands in here, Van Deventer, ready to deliver, and the first pitch to it. Swing and a miss, 0-1. Edwards will be the second baseman on a deck. 0-1 to Collar at the plate. And a pitch to it. That's a shot there to the shortstop. That will be Gonzalez. Have to come up and make a quick throw, and he'll get him by a step, 6-3 for the second out. So here comes Edwards, the second baseman, to the plate. He's 0 for 1, grounded out to the shortstop his first time up. So 2 outs, nobody on. And Van Deventer facing a 1 over the minimum so far here in this ball game, only giving up that 1 hit, which was a leadoff hit to the catcher Ewing back in the 4th inning. Ewing, the only Indy Bulldog on the base pads here today. He got hit by a pitch to lead off the game. And kind of a little confusion by Prawley and Ewing there. Prawley got what he thought was ball 4 was actually ball 3. Now that Ewing off the base pad, and he got picked off over there to start the game. Up high outside to Edwards, it's 1-0. You can catch the live stream, the audio live stream at kinz.biz, folks. 1-0 to Edwards. He's going to call a timeout here. Edwards got himself a good little breaking ball himself. Used it to beat the Blue Comets in that regional championship. 1-0 to Edwards as he steps back in here. 2 outs and nobody on. Van Deventer to the plates. Fly ball out into the left field. It's shallow there, and Gonzalez have to go out halfway out into left field, and he comes up at the play there from the shortstop position for the 3rd out. No hits, nobody left, and no errors. We'll go to the bottom of the 5th as no runs come in. It's a 6-0 ball game. David, Spencer, and Pierce on their way to the plate when we come back. Bulldog Baseball, 102.9 KBIK. And we're back here as we get ready to go to the bottom of the fifth inning. There will be a new pitcher here for the Indy Bulldogs. Coming in here is the pitcher is going to be Ewing. Ewing and Bloomfield will switch places as Bloomfield will go to the shortstop position, and Ewing will come in and be the new pitcher here from the shortstop position for the Indy Bulldogs. Shutting down the book here on the Bluefield goes to short. Bluefield went to short. And coming in here, and it's going to be Ewing. I don't know what they're talking about over there. Ewing is going to be the new pitcher here for the Indy Bulldogs. So the new pitcher coming in. As we get ready to go here for number 9, Jack Edwards is going to be the pitcher, not Ewing, Edwards. As Ewing will be Edwards now at the pitcher for the Bulldogs, number 9. So here we go, ready to go as David will be the first one up. David is going to be hitting the backside as he's hit by the pitch. So the leadoff man is on after he's hit by the pitch. So Bloomfield will go over to short. That's where he will be here. And first pitch here, we'll put David on. Here comes Spencer. He's 0 for 2. And the first baseman, or I should say the right fielder, steps up here. He's 0 for 2 with a runner on. So Spencer steps in here ready to go here as Edwards, the new pitcher for the Bulldogs, steps in. Here's the pitch outside. Ball 1 to him. So Spencer now with a 1-0 count. Can move the runner off of first. As that is David. He is the DH. He led off being hit by the pitch. 1-0 to Spencer. Edwards checks him here. Now comes Sets. End of the plates. And that's going to be away from Copeland. And ball 2. And that allows the runner to get over to second on the wild pitch. So it's now a 2-0. Count at the plate here. So Spenderts. So 2-0 here to Spencer's. We got a little time out here on the field. Now we're ready to go. As Edwards, the new pitcher here for the Bulldogs, steps up. 2-0. He's got a runner on over there at second now after he's hit by a pitch and a wild pitch puts him there. 2-0 to Spencer of the right fielder, and that's low for ball number 3. So the 3-0 count to him. Spencer will get right back in there trying to get on here. And Edwards for that strike. And that's going to be low, and it'll get away from Copeland out in front. And that'll move the runner over to third on the second wild pitch that puts him over there. Spencer's on the base on balls. So now runners on the corners here for Arch City. So here comes Coach Lanning. He's going to come in here, and he's going to Edwards and Lanning is going to get a new pitcher in here. So we're going to take a 1-minute break. We'll come back with a new pitcher for the Indy Bulldogs. Coming in, it's going to be number 11. That will be Edwards coming in here. So we're going to get that coming up. We're going to take a 1-minute break and come back on the pitch and change. It's Bulldog baseball as they trail the 6-0 here in the bottom of the 5th inning on 102.9 KBIK. And we're back here as we get ready to go for the new pitcher here will be Calvin Edwards. He'll come in and pitch for the Indy Bulldogs. Number 3 over there. Let's see. Number 3 is Hunter. He is over there at second for the Indy Bulldogs. So Calvin Edwards comes in. He'll be the new pitcher. We'll move Bloomfield over to shortstop. Still got Schicky out there in the left. So that's the new positions here as we have Calvin Edwards, a senior, coming in. We have runners onto the corners at first and a third as Pierce comes to the plate. He's 0 for 1 and reaching on an error. His 2 times up. So already 6-0 and no outs here in the bottom of the 5th. And Calvin Edwards comes in to try to limit the damage here. See if we can get 3 outs. Here's Edwards in the first pitch, going up in behind Pierce for ball number 1. It's just a little inside. 1-0 to Pierce. So with a 1-0 count here, Pierce will stand right back in. Runners on the corners. Checking Coach Butcher down to third baseline. Arc City leads it 6-0 here over the Indy Bulldogs. Pierce with a 1-0 count stands in. Calvin Edwards, the third pitcher for the Bulldogs, ready to go. Here's the pitch to Pierce. That's up on the inside, just misses. It's now 2-0. So that 2-0 count. Pierce standing right in, ready to go here as Hensley will be on deck for the Arc City Bulldogs. Pierce take it in there. That's in there for a call strike. 2-1. 2-1 to him. So the 2-1 count here to Pierce. He'll stand right back in here, and Edwards with a long look in now has the sign he likes as he's got runners on the corners looking for that first out. Let's worry about that first out here. 2-1 to him. Runner goes up on the inside, 3-0. Throw the third down to the caller. He's back in there at third as Spencer takes off for second. No throw. It's now 3-1 at the plate here to Pierce. And in fear of loading him up here is Edwards. Trying to keep that from happening as they've got runners at second and third in scoring position. Edwards comes set to 3-1 here to Pierce. That's a little chopper there to second as Hunter takes the high chop and it'll go 4-3. The run will come in. So 4-3, 4 out to number 1. Runner goes over to third. Run does come in to make it a 7-0 ball game. Hensley will come to the plate here as the run comes in on the high chopper. Good job of play there by Hunter at second to get the out. 4-3. Runner out. Runner over at third here for Arc City Bulldogs. As Hensley comes to the plate, he's 2 for 2. Now 7-0 here in the bottom of the 5th. And that's going to catch him in the back. So runners will be on the corners after he is hit by the pitch. So runners now at first and third. Copeland goes out to have a chat with his pitcher here. At the top of the order will be Watkins. Watkins been to the plate 3 times. He's got 2 base on balls, a sacrifice bunt, and 2 runs scored today for Arc City. And a chance here to bring in another with only 1 out as he steps to the plate. As they check on Hensley down at first. He appears to be okay as he took a shot to the back there. So here's Watkins as he's ready to go. And Edwards, the new pitcher here for the Bulldogs, stands in. See if we can get a couple outs here and keep any more runs from coming in. It's 7-0 here in the bottom of the 5th. Top of the order, Watkins. He's ready to go. First pitch. Watkins takes that one. Steerack, one called. So that 0-1 pitch to him as he checks out Coach Butcher down the third baseline. And O'Toole will be on deck. As Watkins has runners over on first and third here with only 1 out. He's behind 0-1 to the pitcher Edwards. And Edwards climbs back to the hill now, ready to go. So Watkins stands in with an 0-1 count. And the pitch on the way to him here as Edwards delivers. That's outside. The ball is low. No throw down to second. It's a 1-1 count. And taking it back with no throw. And does Hensley. So runners in scoring position is second and third. It's 1-1 to Watkins as Edwards Now ready to come set here with a 1-1 count. O'Toole will be on deck. So Edwards delivers, and that's low on the inside. Makes it a 2-1 count. So the 2-1 count to him. Edwards for the Indy Bulldogs is looking to maybe entice a double play ball here. And it's 2-1 to Watkins, and that's a shot there to Collar. Going to keep the runner over at third, but he'll go 5-3 for the second out. Nice play there by Collar, coming up on a slow bouncer. And he makes the play 5-3, keeps the runners there at second and third, so not allowing them to advance. That's out number 2. So here comes O'Toole. O'Toole to the plate. He is 0 for 2 in reaching on an error. His 3 times up. He's got an RBI. So the runners in score position at second and third. He steps to the plate here in the 5th inning. And his team leading us 7-0. Edwards trying to get his Indy Bulldogs out of this inning. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball up high, ball 1. 4 in the first, 2 in the 4th, and 1 here in the 5th has been the 7 runs. The 3 errors by the Indy Bulldogs haven't helped that score at all. That's in there for a strike call. It's 1-1. 3 of those errors bringing in runs here for the Arc City Bulldogs today. 1-1 to O'Toole. Gonzalez will be on deck. 1-1 to O'Toole. He comes set, does Edwards. And the pitch. That's a shot and a nice bouncer right out there in front of Bloomfield, and it kind of eat him up there. Here's 1 run. Second run on his way in as they throw it in. And it's going to be a RBI single for O'Toole. So he'll take second on the throw in. But 2 runs do come in to make it a 9-0 ball game here in the 5th. Here comes Gonzalez to the plate. This is now 9-0 here. Arch City with the lead, and Gonzalez coming to the plate here with 2 outs. That was a nice try there by Bloomfield. He waited on the second hop. That second hop on that turf field just took a weird hop on him and jumped right over the top of him out into left field. So here comes Gonzalez to the plate now with the runner in scoring position at second. That's O'Toole. It's now 9-0 here on the 8th hit of the ball game. So Gonzalez 0 for 3 at the plate today. That one gets away from Edwards and goes past Copeland as O'Toole goes to third on the wild pitch. That is the 3rd one of this inning. He could bring in the winning run and the ball game winning run here with a 1-0 count here to Gonzalez. If they can get that run in on for third, the run rule effect will take a place here and the Indy Bulldog season will be done. 1-0 to Gonzalez on the wild pitch. He steps back in as the runner goes over to third. That is O'Toole. Edwards comes set and to the plate. Swing and a miss. It's now 1-1. So Brantwood will be on deck. If Gonzalez gets a single here, so 1-1 to Gonzalez. 0 for 3 at the plate, trying to bring the runner in. O'Toole from third. So our city leads at 9-0 here over Indy. That's a swing and a miss. That's now 1-2. Indy Bulldogs looking to leave that runner there at third and get 1 more inning out of this. See if they can put some runs across. Gonzalez, 1-2 count. With 2 outs, stands in here against Edwards. Edwards comes set to the plate. That's a bouncer down the third baseline. Nice job there by Coach Busher down the line. He got right in front of him and stayed and read it. Nice play there by the coach in the coaching box. 1-2 the count. Gonzalez right back in after that foul ball. So the 1-2 pitch to Gonzalez. That's a shot, and it'll get out in, and that'll do it. And that's a line drive into left field. And that should do it here for the ball game, and it does. And the line drive single makes it a 10-0 ball game. And the Arc City Bulldogs are going to beat the Indy Bulldogs 10-0 here in the bottom of the 5th to get the run rule effect going on here. for today. So that's going to end the season for the Indy Bulldogs. They had a really good year here. The regional champions, once again representing the SEK here. Just had a little hard time with this turf field, I do believe, on a couple of errors out there, and couldn't really get to the hits to come in. Only managed one hit in the ball game. Only managed one game in the ball game here for the Indy Bulldogs against Van Deventer. So we're going to send it back to the studio, and we'll take a 3-minute break. We'll come back and wrap this up as the Indy Bulldogs season is over. They lose it 10-0 to Arc City here in the state tournament here on 102.9 KBIK. And we're back here to wrap this up as the Indy Bulldog season is over here after a 10-0 loss to Arc City here into the first game of the state tournament playoff, and to see who's going to be. So congratulations to Arc City as they will move on, and they will be playing tomorrow in either the third place or the championship game tomorrow. It just depends on how they do in their next game coming up. Got lots of baseball action here in Emporia. A lot of beautiful weather here going on. We'll come to you later this afternoon at approximately 5 o'clock. We'll bring you Lady Bulldogs softball as they are the number 1 seed, and we're going to switch locations and bring that to you about 5 o'clock here this evening. They'll take on Abilene here on 102.9 KBIK. Well, the Indy Bulldogs, I tell you what, they just couldn't really muster much of anything against a very good pitcher in Van Deventer here this afternoon. The Indy Bulldogs get to no runs. They only had 1 hit. They left 1 on the base pads, 3 errors on the afternoon. It was 10 runs on 9 hits, 6 left, and no errors on the afternoon for the Arc City Bulldogs here as they will move on and advance. Van Deventer, the big pitcher for them. He ended up with 55 pitches. He had 4 strikeouts, no base on balls. He gave up the 1 hit and no runs in his game here today. And he should be good to go for Coach Busher if he needs him tomorrow for a couple of innings. But a good job there by the Ark City pitcher. He did a really good job. And, hey, I thought that, Coach Lanning was ready to go with his Indy Bulldogs. He had a good pitcher out there on the hill, had good guys out there. We just couldn't really muster up any hits. And a couple of really crazy bounces out there in the field was, kind of did the Bulldogs in here a little bit. I saw one bounce just take a crazy English bounce over Bruce out there in right field. We saw a couple of them go over Edwards there bouncing in the field too as well. But this turf field, they just were really quite used to that right off here and tried to get a little practice, and maybe a couple of those things hampered the Bulldogs here today. Really kind of started off with Ewing. He got himself hit by the pitch to get everything going, and then Prawley was at the plate, and it looked like it was a called strike 3. Well, it should have been a called strike 3, but it was actually ball 3, and Prawley thought it was ball 4. He took off to go down the line, and then Ewing, he left the base pads, and he was picked off over there because he was off the base pads. It was only ball 3. He had to bring Prawley back, so that kind of set the tone there early for the Indy Bulldogs here, but try to get some runs back, and good job there by Ewing. He was the only one to hit the base pads for the Indy Bulldogs here today. But nice season for the Indy Bulldogs. They came in at under 500. Coach Lanning, he had a good team coming in and a good squad here. Hey, back-to-back state tournament runs here. You're one of the final 8 in the area to be here. It's a very hard thing to do, and just to get here and have some fun and be a part of it is what it should be all about. So good luck to the Indy Bulldogs and any of the seniors that are graduating this year. Hope they had a great season. And we're ready to bring you the second game coming up this afternoon. It'll be approximately 5 o'clock. We're going to switch locations. We'll be right back here on 102.9 KBIK. Thank you so much for all of our wonderful sponsors here this afternoon. And the Indy Bulldogs will go down to Ark City here today, 10-0 in this first round of matchup. So we'll come to you about 5 o'clock this evening, as I said, here on 102.9 KBIK. Mojo making us sound good back in the studio. We appreciate him. We're going to wrap it up here from Emporia. We'll see you about 5 this afternoon on 102.9 KBIK for more Indy Bulldog sports. Have a great day, everybody. We're out. Bye-bye. Sounds good, man. I'll give you a call here at about 4:45 or so.